Hey guys, last time I made a bit of an oops. In the chef guide, I forgot to include the section of the video where I talk about how to get each alt before I go into explaining what they all do. So that's what this video is. It is an in-depth guide to getting all of chef's alternates. Here we go. For alt 1, I first recommend changing your zoom to somewhere in the 1.7-1.8 range. Now, our priorities are going to be backwards from what you might expect. Lemurians are actually the least important thing to focus on. Your top priority should be grabbing these little time pickups. They last no time at all, so as soon as they show up, you need to grab them. Next, these additional enemies may seem like something you can safely ignore at first, but they will pile up quick and make it impossible for you to get anywhere, especially in such a cramped space. For the stone golems, I recommend using your seer to blast them off to the right and then knock them off the stage. Or you can just use a quick glaze and then seer to do more damage and possibly finish them off. Of all the enemies, the brambles are the most threatening. These little plant fuckers will hit you with chip damage constantly, and it will wear you down throughout the entire course of the minigame. And then lastly, of course, the Lemurians themselves. They're very easy to deal with by just using a second helping slice to execute them immediately. Don't worry about leaving them to stay there. They don't take up their spawn location. Multiple Lemurians can spawn on top of each other, and they'll just stay there. So you can walk up, do 1 second helping boosted slice, and it should get you about 3 to 6 kills, depending on how long you waited. And one more thing, they can get blocked, especially on the center platform, by all the bodies piling up, but there are these little interactables that give you health. Those will pretty much fully heal you, so make sure to use those if you start getting low from chip damage. For alt 3, you need to kill 15 glazed enemies simultaneously with 1 seer or flambe. Now you can completely trivialize this by using a combination of command, glass, kin, and boosting your damage taken and reducing your damage dealt. Personally, I just use command and the damage boost and reduction. Now you're going to move through the level. Any white items, turn them into crowbars. If you happen to get an equipment item, turn it into an unstable watch, and any green items, turn it into mobility things like red whip and hopo feather. You don't want to grab damage over time or other things like ukulele because they may steal the kill from seer. Admittedly, I don't know for certain if that will cause you any issues, but I'd rather just not risk it. Now what you're going to do is move through, find the teleporter, and immediately activate it once you have it. Let a bunch of enemies pile up. If you can separate the boss and kill it, do that. Funnel the enemies down until you have about 15 of them or more in an area, and then it's just as simple as hitting your time stop once they're all grouped together, putting glaze through them, activating second helping, and then firing flambe. You should kill them all in one shot, and it won't show the achievement here for me because I already have it, but there's alt 3. Alt 4 is the easiest of them, so I'm just going to give you a few tips and then let you watch my run unedited. I typically start by mostly ignoring the enemies and grabbing items, while funneling sand crabs down with seer as I fall. Once you have a bunch of sand crabs at the bottom though, you can take advantage of the fact that you don't lose this challenge when you die, and you can just drop down, let them kill you, and immediately respawn back up top, which will save you a bunch of time waiting for geysers. Use this to funnel a bunch of sand crabs, hit them all with a few seers to bring them low, and then just cook them in a massive batch. Like I said, this challenge is the easiest of them. You have a very generous timer, and again, death doesn't cause you to immediately fail, so just gathering them up like this and mostly ignoring the other enemies should allow you to succeed pretty easily, and I imagine it's fairly easy to get the gold on this one. I just haven't done it myself.